Hey, hello there. Welcome to my vlog. I'm just joking. We will have a new lecture, and this is a pre-recorded lecture. We will be discussing today approaches in Christian morality. What do you mean by that? If you notice, there is a gamut of arguments, a variety of arguments that we could have. For example, whether the EJK is good or bad, people would say it's good because right now crime rates are down, and some people would argue no, it's not good because according to the Bible, there will be a variety of people arguing, and you would see that there is a pattern to their arguments, and you could simply group them, even though some of them have a sort of a variety. And once you group them, then you will have these three categories of arguments. And in Christian morality, it's also true. What is good, what is right, is sort of could be grouped. Now, some people might argue this and that and this and that, and you group them, and you would have this three that I will be discussing. These three approaches. What are these three approaches? Number one is what we call consequentialism. What is consequentialism? Look at the root word. What is the root word? So just like Dora the Explorer, I will be silent for a while. And yes, you are right. Consequence. What does consequence mean? Yes, it means an outcome, a result, or an effect. Consequentialism is, as you can see there in the PowerPoint, is a moral philosophy or a moral view that argues whatever the out or whatever the act may be, as long as the outcome is good or beneficial to the doer of the act, therefore it is good. There are several types of consequentialism. I will give you some. The first one is what we call hedonism. What is hedonism? Well, they have a very popular saying, or if you recover the Greek text writings about hedonism, and the most popular one that came out is YOLO. No, yes, the YOLO is a very old philosophy. It finds its roots in ancient Greece. You only live once, and you read their text, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we will die. In short, YOLO. No? Ah, ito yung paboritong motto nila, Justin Bieber, no? And what does that mean? No? See, it treats pleasure as the highest good. That if you are going to do something, then it should be pleasurable. If it's not, then it's not good. But as long as something is pleasurable to you, it is good. That's why I remember there's a student before. She has a case, and then she said, so then she was asked why she did it, and then she said, well, because it's fun. Fun though. What do you mean by fun? So everyone was a bit angry. Why? That's actually a form of what we call hedonism. If you ask someone why they engage in premarital sex, their answer, because masarap. No, people would say, because it's pleasurable, because masarap ang bawal, because I'll get something good. I feel so good when I'm doing it. Why people would do drugs or why people would drink and just, drink themselves to death. It's because it's pleasurable to them. Why if you ask someone why exercise, what are your reasons for exercising? And some people will tell you, okay, because I feel so good after workout. So what justifies the act is because of the feeling, the pleasure that you get out of it. Why eat an ice cream? Why eat lechon? And if it's lunchtime, sorry for saying, or it's almost lunchtime or what, I added to your burden of thinking food. Yes, but it's true, no? People, why keep on eating? You're already overweight, and then people will tell you, problema ba? Masarap eh. Or why why do you keep bugging me? I love eating. I enjoy eating. See, this is a form or an argument that falls under hedonism. There's a second type. You can't simply deal with people, but you have to deal with a group of people. It's called utilitarianism. So what is utilitarianism? It's a very popular moral philosophy. So this one, it agrees with hedonism. Because if you try to look at it, it's yes. Obviously, you don't want to live in pain forever. You don't want to sort of simply cry every day. That seems to be that's that's not good, right? So their argument is what is good, or in cases like whatever case, moral cases, it should maximize pleasure, minimize pain. If I haven't discussed with you the trolley car incident, then I'll repeat it in this video. Or I'll just discuss this in this video. There's this trolley car trolley cart dilemma wherein the brakes of the trolley cart is not functioning, but you could change the direction of the trolley cart. In the original direction, there will be five men working on the track, or probably tied to the tracks. And if you continue your current course and speed, you know that they will die. But there's a lever that you could actually pull, and that will change the direction of the trolley, and it will only kill one person. A utilitarian, or probably you, or anyone in his right mind would say, well, I'd go for that one person. Because some might argue because five is more than one. Meaning five lives are probably more in terms of value, will be more valuable compared to one life. I was able to save five, although, or I was able to spare five, but have to sacrifice one. This is a form of a utilitarian argument. That problem is posed by utilitarians to prove that there's no other way. The correct moral philosophy would be utilitarianism. Now, if you are familiar with our government or the news, you would hear the justification, or even in social media, supporters of the present government. Hopefully, siguro naman si Duterte pa rin yung presidente natin by the time that I'm showing this video to you guys. So, his argument and the arguments of his followers, it's like always like this. You kill one addict, then you'll be sparing a lot of innocent people. If you go back to your philosophy and logic, no, that would have been a slippery slope argument, fallacy. But then, take into consideration, probably it's right. No? You kill one criminal, and then you'll be able to spare five people that criminal might kill or might murder or might harm. So this is a very utilitarian argument. No? You sacrifice a few people, a few number of people, you are minimizing pain and you are maximizing pleasure. Although there will be pain, that's something that we could not go away with, but you are able to maximize pleasure. But what is the problem with this argument? and the first one. Obviously, the first one is you can't have a life of pleasure. Everyday life is full of pain. I will tell you that. And sometimes pain teaches us something. One valuable lesson could be found in a Pixar movie, Inside Out, wherein you realize, at the middle of the story when the imaginary friend of Riley, Bimba, is it Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, Bing Bong, okay, Bing Bong is crying because it is clear to him that Riley will soon forget about him and the dread of knowing that he will no longer exist. And Joy said, I can do something. I'm still ecstatic about this. If I reach if I reach the headquarters, I know I could save everyone. Joy was just so excited to or he was trying to make funny faces. And there appears sadness. In the movie, he is always downplayed by Joy. Sadness sat down with Bing Bong, and then just cried with him. Sadness understands the pain that Bing Bong is experiencing. So where am I in this? See, hedonism falls as or fails as a moral argument because in life, pain is not something that we simply want to go away with. We have no, we have to experience it. We are going to experience it. Some people might have more pain. True. I agree that some people have more pain. It doesn't mean that they deserve it. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that in order for us to understand the people who are in pain, who's more who who are experiencing pain, we have to understand the pain that they're going through. I'm not saying that you have to experience. You have to be able to relate. For Joy, she isn't able she cannot do it very well because the only emotion that she's aware of that she values joy. She fails to see the value of sadness. For the second one, I do agree that we have to minimize pain. I really agree with that. No, we don't want people to suffer. If you see someone suffering, you do something about it, right? However, if you place this in a certain setting wherein, like for example, I'll I'll tell you and ask you a question. What if there's a woman and 10 guys, 10 boys, decided to gang rape the woman? That could be justifiable because in a utilitarian setting, although this is already an exaggeration, but this could be sort of justifiable because you see, you are minimizing pain there. Only one person is experiencing pain, and the rest are enjoying, maximizing pleasure. There's something wrong. A utilitarian should agree with that. The Duterte will agree with that. But no, the problem here is, well, yes, true. We need to minimize pain. It doesn't mean we have we are in charge of selecting who experiences that pain. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And it's unfair to that person. As much as possible, you also want to minimize the pain of that individual. Do you understand me? See, if we simply look at every now and then the majority, then look at the composition of our country. If you simply listen to the majority, then you should not listen to the what they call this humans, the Muslims, because they are minorities. In the US, Black Lives Matter is gonna be BS or it's gonna be wrong because well, majority of people are white, so Black lives really matter? Eh, okay, just remove all the black people so that the white people can enjoy their privilege. Utilitarianism is, in fact, no, probably a justification to slavery, so that a lot of people will enjoy. You have to make a few people suffer, a few slaves suffer, so a lot of white Americans will enjoy life. And how does it appear in Christianity? If you ask people why are they doing it, it's because they're either afraid of hell and they want to go to heaven. They do good deeds or labeled as good deeds. So why are you helping the poor? If you're helping the poor, a certain teleology or a certain aim that justifies your action. For example, I want to go to heaven. I'm afraid of hell. Don't want to experience more pain in hell. Later on, I know there will be heaven. This is a form of a consequentialist argument. Christian, Christianity. So, okay. The next one will be Deontology. What is Deontology? So, if consequentialism sort of justifies the action because of its result, its outcome, Deontology justifies or does not justify its action by the result, but looks at the act themselves. We follow a certain moral principle or moral rule. For Kant, it's more of a moral principle and a moral, at some point, it's a moral rule. So, what are you trying to say, sir? Meaning, instead of looking at the outcome, you look at the uh, act itself. If the act is murder, look at that. Is it justifiable? Is murder justifiable? So there are types of deontology. For Kant, it's what we call the categorical imperative. Meaning, I'll simplify this. No, this is a very complex philosophy, but then one way to simplify it is try to imagine if your action can be universalized. I'll give you a more concrete example. I really hate election time, election period wherein I have to vote. Why? Because if I have to vote, I'll go into a school, a public school. It's very hot. I'll be there. That's why it's very hot now. So what I'm saying is, it's gonna be humid. Usually it's summertime. There will be plenty of people. Some people did not take their bath. Should be around people, and it's just I just don't want to go out, waste my 3 hours of my time just to elect someone who I might see as might again you disappoint us, just like what happened in 2016. So I tell myself, okay, I will not vote, but I'll back out. Why? Because if I try to universalize my action, could it be something that I could universalize? I mean, what do you mean by saying by universalizing an action? If everyone will not vote, what will happen? If it's a disaster, if you could not universalize it, it is something that is wrong or can't. So that's an oversimplification, but then we don't have enough time to discuss Kant's categorical imperative. That's one way to check. So not voting during election time is wrong for Kant. How about other forms of it? In Christianity, you follow certain laws, scriptures. If scripture tells you that murder or lying is wrong, then definitely it is wrong. As a Jew or a Muslim, is eating pork okay? They tell you because it's written in Quran, then it's not okay. Or if someone tells you, or a Jew tells you, is it okay to work on a Sabbath day? They tell you it's wrong because it's written in scriptures. See, that's how it works in Christianity. There is a certain moral principle, a moral law that you abide, you follow, because you already look into the act and it is already prejudged. So you are not to engage, uh, for example, in theft because God says so. The action in itself is wrong. In contrast, one way to look at it, deontology, look at the act itself. Consequentialism looks at the outcome, the consequence that result from the act. So these are the two. No. But then, deontology or consequentialism. Let's see the weakness of the ontological argument. What if someone is looking for your dad, ready to murder him? Would you tell that person the truth, knowing that lying is wrong according to the Ten Commandments? See, sometimes it fails to see our context, our reality. Perhaps he has an argument against it actually, but then would say, well, what if that your dad still died because he lied? So it's now gonna be your fault. That's not the point. The point here is times there is a certain level of distinction. Going back to the trolley cart incident, there are five individuals. But what if those are strangers and that one individual is your mom? You tell me, most of my students out there will tell me, I killed that five people. It doesn't matter. That's my mom. I love my mom more than anything here on earth. And let's go to the more personalist approach. Personalist and or personalism, they're two different things, but they're related. Don't worry about they're really closely related. But there's a brand of people that would become the personalist. But we're not really concerned with that. We're concerned with the bigger picture here. A type of personalism or personalist argument is the function of a relationship. No, you can simply deny relationships as part of moral argument. Some people might tell you, or to be logical, you have to remove emotions. But then, technically, if you look at history, it's ruled by men, and there's a group of women uh, that came out later that tells us, well, remove emotions as part of decision making. What if that's your mom? Obviously, that's not that's not an invalid argument. Obviously, you would do everything to help your mom. I'm not saying that if it's not your mom, you should save your mom. So what I'm saying is that love for them is our emotion towards our relationship with the other person is an important factor in decision making. So I'm not saying that our relationship justifies the act. What I'm saying is it's just a way from the act. See, both deontology and consequentialism wants to justify an act. Consequentialism does it by its results. Deontology by the act itself, but they're focused on the act. Personalism or personalist approach does not focus on the acts. Rather, it focuses on the person. It is more concerned with treating the human person and the development of his or her character. So, a person might say, well, I want to develop my conscience. I'm a person with conscience. I'm a free individual. These are forms of personalist argument. You look at the human person, you treat the human person as persons. For example, uh, curing someone or vaccine or treating someone who already has cancer. There's a time in my life wherein I was working in a hospital as in the palliative care department, and there is this cancer patient who said to the doctor, the doctor was presenting the current technology that we have right now could actually cure him of his disease. With his financial status, they could afford it. Although that would hurt badly, the pockets of really bad, I mean, a very bad way. But then the current technology that we currently have right now could cure his disease, his cancer. Then he said, this is my second time for in my second time, the cancer has already recurred. And he said, despite the fact that you know it could be cured, I think this is already the time. He said, although not in a very comfortable way. He was saying it like, I think I'd rather say goodbye to my family than live and see my family suffer. I want my children to go to college, to achieve their dreams. That's why I'm here. No, I think I've already fulfilled my life goals, and I don't want to be sort of a burden to my family. Actually, that's one of the most memorable experiences I have uh, during my stay in the hospital. See, what it teaches us that is this: the doctor might say, "Well, you could survive, you could live," but the patient there, well, could say no. Just like the priest that I worked with before who said, I don't want to be, I don't want to go through surgery, even though the best thing to cure his disease, his gallbladder, is to have, surgery. And then, I mean, the inflammation in his gallbladder, no, not the gallbladder. The gallbladder is not really the inflammation there. And then he was saying, I just want to take, medicines. But the doctor insists that he takes he would go through surgery. Even though the doctor is right. In the story, I'll tell you later on, the doctor is actually right. No, he still has to go through the surgery because he experienced again the same pain a few months later. And but the doctor could not do anything because it's the patient's what call. That's what we call autonomy. We respect the human person's decision. We respect his intelligence, his ability to decide for himself or for herself. That is his or part of his or her freedom. So that's sort of what personalism is about. To simplify personalism for you is it's more concerned with not with the action, but with the individual. But how does it work? It works like you're here in Ateneo. You notice we don't teach you that to base an act is about its results. To base an act is in the act itself. You notice most schools are going away with it already. And then if you notice that there's already an emphasis in key values formation. We- Some schools would have their five C's, four C's. Ateneo schools would have their C's. In the same thing, we are more now concerned with building a certain character. And what is the benefit to that? What benefit would we get from it? One benefit we would get from it, the reality that I keep on emphasizing that as you exit the portals of the Ateneo, as you go out, you know, one best one best way to assure ourselves that you will do good in real life, or this is real life already, what we're experiencing is reality. one way for us to help you is to develop your character. And we are certain, because there is already a certain character that is established, that person will act according to his or her character. If a person is a person who, who has aura personalis, then he or she understands the value of taking care of other people. He will not look into the cost benefits of helping another person, because he believes that that makes him a better person. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So a person who, for example, you want you to be a person of conscience. That's why many Ateneo graduates are now, or I include the schools that I don't like LaSalle or etc. LaSalle, Cat LaSalle. Notice that they are they are very outspoken against the terror bill, the injustices that are going on right now, mass testing, and really just criticizing the government because it believes that they have to speak according to their conscience. Form the character and you will have the person that you want. Whatever dilemma you throw to that person will act according to the character, to his or her character. If that person always consults his or her conscience, then that person will what? Will will act according to his or her conscience. So if you notice the program of, I'll now discuss this, that the program of Christian morality, it focuses on what? Developing your character. The format of Christian morality is not about resolving issues, but forming you to become good individuals with succeed. So that's it. Uh, Questions you can throw to me during ILT or during class period. Okay? So that's it. And goodbye.